Why is this poem so important? I mean, I get that it's like fun, sort of in like a dark comedy kind of way, but I'm a little bit surprised Jennings is having us write about it.
Yeah, me too. Popularity, for starters. It sold over 3 million copies when it was first published in 1907.
Really?
And it has gone on to be Robert Service's most famous poem.
But all that really happens
is a corpse comes alive, like a zombie. It's awesome.
Okay, I get what Ash is saying. I mean, I'm used to poetry making you experience the subtlety of things, not some like ghoulish comedy about a Klondike miner dragging around a frozen corpse. Ew.
Really? Both of you guys?
The language, it's silly.
And the language is it's understandable, unlike most poetry.
What about the sing-songy meter, right? I mean, it sounds like a nursery rhyme.
I'm shocked, Ashley. Really, I'm shocked to hear you talk like this.
Whatever. Listen to this. And the dogs were fed, and the stars o'erhead were dancing heel to toe, precious, right?
Okay, well, I hear your point, Ashley, but it turns out that Service was writing in verse.
Oh, duh, of course he is. Wait, what's verse?
Right? Looked it up. And verse is actually written for the people, both to entertain as well as inform them.
See, now that's my kind of poetry. Entertaining.
But a lot of poets like Kipling and Longfellow, were accused of writing poetry that was too simple, too popular.
Okay, maybe I was just born at the wrong time. Unlike Ashley here, who likes her poetry dense and unreadable.
Okay, that's not it at all, okay? I love poetry because it's like a puzzle, as I figure out a poem, I learn things about myself.
So there's no puzzle in this poem, nor is it going to help you find out your, life's worth or anything like that. But it does other things, right?
I'm just saying I haven't learned anything about myself by reading it.
Well, why can't it just be fun?
Guys, why can't we just get to the prompt? I like this poem. Unlike Ashley over here.
Oh, snap. Anyways.
Okay, I got the prompt. The Cremation of Sam McGee was written to celebrate a certain period of North American history, the Klondike Gold Rush. Why do you think it's still relevant today? What greater themes does a poem convey that give it a sense of timelessness?
Okay, George, since you're such a big fan, what you got for us?
Alright, even by today's standards, these guys are pretty cool. I mean, come on, they're out searching for gold and they're camping in the snow. They're living by this stern code. They're tough, real men.
Real men? I'm sorry I asked.
The conditions are unlivable. I was cold just reading it. I even had to wrap myself up in my Snuggie.
Oh, the cold is stabbing through parkas like the driven nail. Their eyes are frozen shut. That's some pretty strong imagery.
Yeah, to your point, Troy, they weren't all tough. Here, Sam McGee from Tennessee, he's, what's the word they use? Whimpers? That's a nice word, Joyce.
Right.
Everybody whimpers.
It's like they're all possessed or something. What does it say here? He was always cold, but the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the dreams that come from the gold rush fever seems to make people a little crazy.
And he knows he's gonna be killed by the cold at some point. It's total madness.
Well, I admire him, okay? He's facing death with courage.
But he's not just scared of death. McGee even says, "You tain't being dead. It's my awful dread of the icy grave that pains."
It's almost like the cold is a character too.
Right.
He hates it so much that he fears it almost more than actually dying itself.
Right. Okay. So what's this timelessness we're looking for?
What's more timeless than facing death? I mean, the narrator, before he looks in on the corpse, says, "How long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear."
So the narrator's afraid to even look at death, but now he's dragging this corpse around. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's the code that I was talking about. Look, a pal's last need is a thing to heed. So I swore I would not fail.
Right.
Cap could have totally dumped Sam's body, but he doesn't.
It's that man code thing.
Exactly, it's the
No,
man
I know
code.
what Troy's talking about. Because Cap keeps his promise, Sam McGee actually cheats death.
So it's about chasing after your dreams, friendships, and fairy tale endings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's certainly universal.
Yeah, I'm not so sure being stuck in a roaring furnace is a fairy tale ending, but it does have a childish rhyming scheme.
You are so hating on this poem, Ashley.
Totally.
I mean, the rhyme scheme makes it more accessible, even for children.
Okay.
I agree. I mean, it's a little too gruesome for a bedtime story.
This isn't a bedtime story or a fairy tale. It's more of a folk tale. The Brothers Grimm fairy tales were always a bit, dark and grim.
Yeah, because Rapunzel is so dark and cold.
More like Cinderella. You ever seen the
Cinderella.
Grimm
Oh, wow.
version?
No.
All right. The stepsisters, well, they cut off their toes to fit their fat feet into those little glass slippers, and, well, they get ratted out by a couple of birds who then double back to peck out their eyes and leave
Whoa,
them
God.
living as blind beggars for the rest of their life.
Oh, yeah.
Cinderella, on the other hand, a happily ever after princess.
You love it.
That's a lot worse than dragging a corpse around.
So maybe I'm overdoing it on the whole, nursery rhyme thing, but I'm still thinking that Service uses a lot of, cliched stereotypes.
Okay, well, according to my research, Robert Service was this unsuccessful miner at the heart of the Klondike Gold Rush, and he wrote this poem after someone took a shot at him, and he even wore a raccoon coat.
Raccoon coat. Yeah, I think he was a real deal, Ashley.
Wait, guys, you have to remember, right? These sort of hardened Western characters were popping up all over the place around this time, right? Like Butch Cassidy or Billy the Kid or
Did you guys ever go camping?
What?
Off-topic, relevant.
Growing up as a kid, I used to go all the time. And, on those trips, if you break your ankle out in the middle of nowhere, well, you're in a heap of trouble.
Oh, yeah, seriously, what's this got to do with the poem?
Right? Living in those harsh mining times, it was no easy task. They were surrounded by violence and death everywhere. This poem is a reminder of those harsh times. Look, even if it's a stereotype, it's a stereotype for a reason.
wait, guys, I think I'm having an idea here.
Oh, hold on, guys. She's got an idea.
Dude, maybe the reason that it's relevant today is because it was so popular back then.
Wait, just because something's popular does not make it great.
I think I know what you're getting at.
Help me out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I know what I'm getting at.
Oh, okay. Well, both you and Troy commented on stereotypes, right?
Right,
Okay, I'm quoting here. Now, a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. What does that remind you of?
Clint Eastwood, John Wayne.
Yeah.
Sam Jackson, Pulp Fiction, Uma Thurman, Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Right? Strong, tough characters and a dark comedy. Yeah, even like my man Troy here. Particularly manly days.
Right.
No way.
Thank you.
But that's the thing. They're not stereotypes. They're archetypes.
Right.
I'm an archetype now. Cool.
The tough guy with a code of ethics archetype.
Uh-huh.
That's cool. So why isn't my name on that list?
Anyway, look, I think that the humor in this poem is, well, sophisticated.
How so?
Well, the beginning, it's got you thinking that, well, it's a ghoulish, scary ghost story, and by the end, it's got you laughing.
Okay, even I have to admit that the second time I read through the poem, in the first stanza, when Sam McGee says he'd rather live in hell, right? Yeah, because it's warmer there, right? That's funny.
No, it's
right?
not that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
though he'd often say in his homely way that he'd sooner live in hell. So it's like the first time I read that, I thought, oh, poor guy. But then I realized it's foreshadowing.
Okay, well, what about the line, then I made a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so.
Ugh,
That's gross,
yeah.
but it's really funny.
Yes.
Service takes a really spooky premise here. He takes a man's dying wish to have his remains cremated and turns it into a campfire joke.
Okay, but how?
I think it's part of the contrast between tone and language. Like, Ashley, your note about the sing-song, rhyme. Yeah, it makes things light,
For sure.
right?
No, see, I think there's more to it than just that.
There's something really freeing about being able to make light of something so heavy.
Right, which is exactly what Service does at the end of the poem. The narrator's all scared, and he goes to check on the cremation, and there's Sam McGee, all happy.
Right.
I mean, since I left Plumtree down in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm. It's a joke.
So Service is laughing at death.
Yeah, and pointing out that bravery and laughter have a lot in common.
And, I'd say that's a pretty timeless lesson.
Yeah.
So, Ashley, have we convinced you of this poem's awesomeness yet?
I don't know. There's a little more to write about than I thought originally. Maybe.
Do you want to hear my spooky voice?
There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold.
Our